get? Something cinema?
Cinema hand job.
Cinema hand jobs.
There we go.
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
People will
and
fill in the
importance
blanks.
of replenishing them mid-hand
People
job.
firing blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fire blanks too close to your eye, or it'll happen to you like that neo-Nazi in Bruges.
I should watch that movie again.
Don't fire blanks at actors or your...
Raglan Road.
Person who me a speedboat.
Or you know, you don't want to fire blanks at movie stars either,
I
because you could Brandon Lee them.
And the new...
It's like Bruce Lee's brother.
Yes.
It kills me every time.
Yeah.
What? Blanks. Okay.
Have you seen In Bruges?
Yes. With, what's his name? Colin
Farrell.
Farrell,
Williams.
that's the one.
Colin
Firth.
Farrell Williams.
Yes,
And
that's the one.
Papa
Colin
Gleason.
Firth Farrell Williams.
Papa Gleason.
Yes. Although it's pronounced in Bruggies.
Alright, hello and welcome to the CineBeards.
Hi.
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 No, we're the CineBeards. We're welcoming people. It's the listeners that have to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Now you can say hi to the listeners. They've had
Hi
the
to the
chance.
listeners. They've had the chance. So, I'm here to help introduce this episode, and I'm just gonna go because I've got. This is just the Thomas episode.
No, I don't have a lot to say.
Everyone knows it's Thomas.
That's him.
Who else but Thomas?
No, I don't have a lot to say really. I'm just gonna gush a lot about what I'm showing.
Dude, not in my
Yeah.
fucking studio.
This-
We're gonna have a
is-
lot of visual aids.
We will have a lot of visual aids, which
Which
Jason may or may not put up.
yeah, time code.
Depending
into
on
the-
how busy my work week is, it may or may not be included in the YouTube version
Well,
of this.
if it is busy, I say just put it up as a slideshow.
Markus, you
and
just
it can
just
just
so much work.
it can
I
just
know.
spool as people are watching / listening.
yeah,
There.
that I can do.
I think I made it slightly less worse better. Anyway,
Yeah,
this is
this episode is dedicated to the greatest cinematographer / director of photography of our time. And that's
Adam
Some-
Sandler.
yes,
some
but
would argue
better.
of all
Of-
time.
I would.
It's a tough one.
I'd say he's in contention.
Yeah.
Roger Deakins.
So who are the
Roger-
ones that are in contention for that all time?
No idea, but I'm sure that an argument can be made.
It's the internet.
Yeah.
An argument will be made.
An argument
an
is
argument
being-
can be made. It will
An
be
argument
made.
has been formulated and is ready, prepped, and waiting to fire.
Roger Alexander Deakins
Was born on
On
Commander
a sunny day.
Roger Alexander Deakins, commander of the most excellent order of the British Empire.
Yeah, he literally.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a cool title.
He's also a member of one of the key founding members of the American what's it called? American Photography Society and the British.
Yeah, the British and American Societies of Cinematographers.
Yeah, that's why you see ACE and BCE next to
So
each
he's
other.
a bit of a flip-flopper, eh?
He's a bit of a
yeah,
a
but a bit
shimshammer.
of a floor crosser.
Yeah, a bit of a transatlantic genius.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah.
601.
Yeah, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. Half a baker's dozen in the other.
Good lord. Off to a rollicking start.
Okay,
So tell us about John Deacon.
present.
When did he join Queen?
John Deacon joined Queen in 1971.
the Roger Deakinses. What are we looking at, Thomas?
We're currently looking at 1984, which is the first of his films which I chose to look.
If Thomas sounds funny at the moment, it's because there is a laptop leaning against the side of his face.
It's very important that the laptop is here because it acts as a visual aid and lets you people see what I can see with the corner of my eye. Not really. But
Damn
yeah,
you VA panels and your terrible viewing angles.
You need a projector and one of those click click.
I do with it. I
Click, click.
need a laser pointer, but Deon didn't bring his, so I guess I'm shit out of luck.
I could have brought a slide projector.
It's too late. We're already in it.
It's got the...
Like an old school one.
Yeah, with the clicking sound and everything.
Man, I
doesn't
wish you
just
had.
Well, like an old school one.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have done one of those overhead projectors
Where you have to have
and
the
printed everything on
translucent
transparente.
Like the maths guy.
Yeah.
What was that weird language Markus just
I don't know. I think Markus just got possessed.
Transparente.
I think it was Esperanto.
Yes.
Markus
Yeah.
just got possessed for a second. But yeah.
Okay, so what's happening there?
Okay, well,
That looks like a pretty good shot.
well, the issue with this exercise, like I said to the WhatsApp group, was I started just kind of flicking through the movies to look for the shots that I know are amazing and I can talk about them, but I would find the scene and then I would watch the scene and then I would just continue to watch the film. So I ended up watching all of these movies again more than once.
Poor you.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the composition of that shot,
This
Thomas.
is 1984, and this is a shot right from the beginning where you first see the big speech, and you learn about the world, and you learn about the indoctrination of everyone into the horrible, horrible government that George Orwell was like, oh, the nationalists, and he was right.
Yeah.
Also, what you have to remember, 1984 was only the second feature film Deakins was working on.
I thought you were going to say 1984 was only
only
the
the
second year after 1981.
What? What did you just say?
You're so good with numbers.
No, Jason.
So good with numbers.
I can't believe your father lets you do business things.
Yeah, you both of you just shut up.
Jeez.
It's just Deon and me in the studio.
I'm with you, Thomas. I'm with you.
Okay, so yeah, this is the beginning, and it was really nice because it establishes Deakin's kind of proclivity for doing these really nice overhead tracking shots that show scale really, really well and make you think that
Because the man in the front there looks huge compared to the other
he's on a
people.
screen.
Yep.
What? That's a screen
No, you can't have
within
a screen on the screen. That doesn't work.
No,
That's you see, that's Deakin's.
that's like typing Google into Google. It's impossible.
but you see, Deakin's can do it.
What? You
shit.
can type Google into Google without the internet becoming a black hole.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a wizard.
He
Okay.
can divide by Google.
I'll suspend my disbelief.
Suspend your disbelief. So that's this shot. But as Markus said, this was only his second feature film, and as such, his style was not really solidified yet. And there are only kind of 4 or 5 shots that I have from this film because a lot of it was more personal sort of talking thing, and not that that's a bad thing, and the framing was good, but there's no real amazing visual shots, not a lot of them.
Yeah.
Similar to some of the other films we will be talking about.
But also with 1984, I'm just going to jump in with quick facts here that pertain to my research.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, like Roger Deakins, as we'll come to know throughout the episode, was always not just a trailblazer, but very experimental. He always wanted to try new things and try different things. I'm just looking for the actual term here. For 1984, he implemented the bleach bypass.
The bleach bypass.
Yes.
On the film itself, which is basically how it works is you literally bleach the film and it washes out all the colors except silver,
Which you can see much more clearly in this shot.
which does make everything look more bleak and like turned down.
And Soviet.
And so it looks like what Zack Snyder tries to achieve but fails at miserably every single time.
Because he doesn't have bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can't bleach a digital tape.
Well, you
No,
can.
that
It
you
just
can.
probably.
Video file.
You just print it to film and then you bleach it.
Yeah, it's like printing a YouTube video. You can do it.
Yeah.
Give it enough frames and some stop motion.
Yeah,
Given enough ink.
The point of this being that this is the reason, one of the reasons Roger Deakins should be in your mind at all times when you think about shot
Love
composition.
when you're baking
No,
love.
when you think about
Hey,
movies,
I'd put the camera in the corner.
I think about
there.
framing, don't you?
yeah,
I'm
when you're
listening to the
thinking
soundtrack.
film, when you're thinking film and composition, you should always have Roger Deakins in your
I
mind.
prefer listening to the score.
I prefer
Nah.
the score track.
Nah.
The score
I like the needle drops.
But yeah, and again,
You
like,
watch Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd?
so this is the next shot we're looking at.
What?
His channel is called The Needle Drop.
Well, needle drop is just what Guardians of the Galaxy does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the term.
But yeah, really nice here. You see,
Actually, that's lit like shit because the one guy's in shadow and the one guy's real bright.
Oh, he's trying to represent something? Jeez.
Yes,
think so.
actually, and this is also one of the features of a lot of Deakin's work. He loves lighting because the director of photography is also in charge of lighting the scenes. he really loves using directed, like single source or sometimes dual source lighting.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait till we get to the 1917 shots.
Well, I can't have any
oh,
1917
because
shots
Deon
in
hasn't
here.
seen them.
Because A, Deon has not seen it, and B, it is not available for home release yet, so there's no physical way that I would have a copy of it.
No physical way that you would have an actual
Absolutely
physical
not.
copy of it.
No. So
No.
we can talk about it at length, and we will, but
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to
But
use
we
our
don't have visual aids for that.
Yeah, we have visual aids for some of the other major films.
Yeah.
It's
The
a
only
pity,
visual
they,
aids
it's
we
a pity
could
they didn't have ray tracing back then, because then that dark side, you know, there would be like
Yeah,
light
if only
reflections
we
from
turned
off screen.
RTX on.
On a side note, like watching 1984 again was great because man, like John Hurt, even though he was young, he was like a 60-year-old man when he was in his 20s.
Oh,
Yeah.
like Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes, exactly like that.
Uh,
But yeah,
I mean, he was quite a character. That's why they made like an entire movie about the place where he just kept all his stuff.
Yep.
All right, continue.
Healthy even.
This is going to be a round of applause.
so this is one of the oddity shots in the film, and you see it,
Ooh.
I think
Nice shot.
4 or 5 times because the majority of the film is washed out, like Markus said, and grey and grim and bleak. But there's a place where the character goes to in his head, and they're accompanied by these like long corridor shots where it's either him or him and someone else, and in his mind he walks through a door and he sees this place, and later on in the film you find out it is an actual place and he has been there, and it's I'm not going to tell you
Jeez,
more about
spoilers.
Wow.
well, I'm saying I'm not going to tell you more about it, but it has significance. He takes the principal love interest of the film there. They have sex on the ground.
You know what? I'll read the novelization.
Yeah, read the novelization. It's pretty good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah,
Because
surprisingly.
often those get phoned in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Weird
yeah.
that they chose to call it Animal Farm, but you know.
No. There is actually a novelization of the film.
Yeah.
We're not
Wait.
joking.
So there's
Oh,
not-
really?
There's
Yes.
1984 the book,
Yeah.
and then there's 1984 the film, and then 1984 a novelization of the film.
Excuse me.
All right.
Like for real.
Okay, but yeah, that's 1984. It's a good time. Next.
Next. Oh, do you know what we forgot to talk about last week?
What?
What?
The new title for the official title for the Jurassic World.
Oh,
Movie.
Domination,
Jurassic World Domination.
which is a good
Ooh,
title.
that's a good title.
Right, that's a good title.
It
Oh well.
just sounds like a 50 Shades spin-off.
So, for the next film,
Oh, we're
about
jumping already deep
Fargo.
into the 90s.
well,
Oh, that's it. Chapter 2.
yeah, it's in chapter 2.
Yeah, that
Um,
statue goes after the boy.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, like,
Again, I don't know. Like, I don't know what your fascination is with this guy, because either that man's giant and that car's like really tiny, or vice versa. Like, he fucked up bad. Like, he's trying to do a Lord of the Rings thing.
see, what I'm revealing to everyone here is that I've needed glasses for years, and I see the world in a fucking bizarre way, and Deakins does too, which is why I like his cinematography.
So to you, that just looks normal.
Yeah, this is regular.
That's regular.
Just sideboard.
Thomas has
do
got-
you have any...
Sideboard, okay, yes. Not sidebar.
Sidebar, do you have any Shawshank Redemption?
Of course, I'm gonna go Shawshank next.
Okay,
this was just
fantastic.
next on the list.
Okay.
Of my screenshots.
Okay. Well, yeah. Because, Shawshank is important as well.
Yeah, Thomas sees life through a filter where everybody looks like that in flannel with an axe. So, like, to him right now, that's what we look like.
Yeah, you guys are pretty
really
scary.
badass.
Yeah, badass, but like scary. It's why I have problems talking to so many women because they're just in flannel with
They're
axes.
just lumberjacks.
And like,
That's
I'm
okay.
attracted to
Like,
it.
you watch that
But I'm
lumberjack
scared.
song and you just don't.
I didn't get it. Wasn't that just every song? But yeah, great use of perspective, and he did a lot of like pseudo documentary style camera stuff here, where it was a lot of fixed angles.
And it
On
really gets the
which-
kind of isolation
Yeah.
across.
In which he does have experience because before he moved over to feature films, he was shooting. He did shoot a couple of documentaries.
No, he shot a
Namely-
couple of documentarians,
That
which
too.
is why he had to
He
flee
sh-
to Britain.
Yeah.
He shot a documentary in the early 80s called Zimbabwe, and
It was in Kenya though. It was weird.
yeah, and
Really?
there was another one. A war.
Which is also very funny because Zimbabwe was still called Rhodesia. He was so ahead of the time.
The thing is, when anybody makes a documentary in Africa,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that is 100% believable.
Yeah, it actually. We are in Angola, so this is Kenya.
Yes,
first-
that's what I said.
his-
Angola.
His first Zimbabwe was a clandestine documentation of the Rhodesian Bush War,
Ah, well, there
and
you go.
his second, Eritrea Behind Enemy Lines, depicted the Eritrean War for Independence.
Which never happened.
No, it's not the Armenian genocide.
Do you know what they say about that? Do you know what
I
Turkey
was
says
really
about...
hoping that this would be an easier one
Do you know what
to edit.
Do you know what Turkey says about the Armenian genocide? It didn't happen, but they deserve
Nearly
it.
threw this in.
Sorry?
It didn't happen, but if it did, they deserve it.
Yeah.
That is the official position of the Turkish government on the Armenian genocide.
That's like OJ's book, If I'd Done It.
If I'd done it.
If I did
I didn't do it,
If I
but
did
if
it.
I did, this is
Okay.
exactly how I would have done it.
Next slide. Boop. Again,
Fargo.
really good use of...
Yeah, because you can't tell.
Spooky.
You can't tell if that's an overhead shot of a car and some plants in the snow, or if a car and a bunch of plants have been thrown out of a plane, and that's a side-on view. As they
Exactly.
plummet. And a
That's how they
person.
mess with like your perception of reality. This is
Yeah.
basically...
That looks fucking cool. That looks like a painting.
This is basically every frame a painting.
I was gonna work my way up to that, but okay.
A beach.
You just like
I see
teenage
where
boy.
you're going.
Yeah.
Just
Straight on the mark!
He's like that kid that sat behind you in what was it, Thor Ragnarok?
oh no, was it Black Panther?
Black Panther, yeah.
Fucking
Thomas is the fat kid.
you
I
fat
am
kid.
the fat kid.
Fat unattended child.
Didn't have to get so real. This is the next shot, I like it! Next slide!
It's embarrassing because that car's upside down. He fucked up so badly. This is like special ed.
But yeah, very good framing.
That is very awesome.
Nice composition. Again, just isolation, loneliness.
I can see why this guy appeals to you.
Yeah!
You're really beating on Thomas today.
I do deserve
He
it.
was nominated. He was nominated for Best
Did-
Cinematography Oscar.
He was
Thomas.
Thomas.
Jesus, have we strayed
Jesus.
into my darkest
Maybe
fantasies?
for carpentry, but
Roger
cinematography?
Deakins. Roger Deakins.
Roger De Quincy Jones.
It's
Fucking terrible. Roger Deakins was nominated for Best Cinematography
How many
for his work on
times
Fargo.
before he won?
11. Who beat him out with this?
With Fargo,
Fargo, who was he beaten out by?
there's a fantastic video that is just this litany of the most amazing failures ever.
Yeah.
I think Titanic.
Yes.
96,
no,
96, that would have been Shawshank.
No, because he
No,
did
it's
the
also his.
cinematography for Shawshank.
Was it Shawshank 94?
No.
96. So
Hey.
Kundun, which he worked with on Martin Scorsese,
Kundun.
was
Which you worked
lost.
with on Martin Scorsese, yes.
Pull it together, Markus.
I am
put it
together.
together, Deon, as well. You know.
Okay, yeah.
While we're at it,
Really nice
pull
shot.
it together, Thomas.
Okay. I have this laptop. It's getting heavy.
This is so much fun. Okay, so hold on a second. Am I to understand just symbolically that the film is about a journey, and that's why it's called Fargo?
Yes,
like a
and,
Yodaism.
yes and no.
Oh man, that's pretty on the nose.
Well,
They were
it
like, oh, we
is-
want to give the impression that someone's going far. Go for Fargo. Nailed it. Do some more coke.
Have you not seen Fargo?
Of course, I've seen Fargo. I haven't seen the series though.
Watch season 1 and 2. Do not watch season 3.
Okay.
But yeah, very nice isolation shot. Again, cool car, parking lot, good composition.
I mean, those
I
shadows.
like that there's just the one active track.
Yeah.
Okay, so he lost to John Seal, who did The English Patient.
And the English
Oh.
Patient has got a lot of really nice desert shots, like long tracking shots.
Oh, dude,
Desert
ice
is better than ice.
cream and like fucking.
It's
No,
it's
no,
Lawrence of
chocolates.
Arabia all over again.
Yeah. Now, that's Fargo, and that's Fargo.
Nice.
So next, Markus will talk a bit about Shawshank while I look for the slides.
Talk a bit about Shawshank.
Now, I
Marcus.
haven't seen or read Shawshank, but I know it's by that Stephen King bloke, so I assume it's a pulpy horror.
Yes,
Fantastic.
Yes.
it is.
A pulpy horror that flubs the ending.
There's too many Blade Runners!
The Shawshank Redemption is a 1994 American drama film
I told
written
you it's
and
94
directed.
in your fucking faces. I mean, I haven't seen or read it. I'm not obsessed with Stephen King.
Directed
Fuck
by
you.
Frank Darabont, based on the 1982 Stephen King
What?
novella
Why would you be?
Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption.
Why would you
Which
be
is
obsessed with the
part
subpar
one of 4
writer,
stories
Deon?
in different seasons. Sorry?
Why would you be obsessed with the subpar writer?
That's
kill
high
you.
on cocaine.
I know. I knew I was risking
Yeah,
the Invisible Man viewing later, but
Yeah.
I had to.
I have to go home and recuperate.
It's kind of like telling
No, actually,
Thomas
what I'm
that-
going to do is I'm going to walk around the mall looking for unattended children and buy them tickets to the film. Sitting around
buy 'em
you.
all around the middle of
sitting all
K.
around you. And buy them a bunch of soda. That's it.
No, and the and the love seat so that they have to hold it.
They're gonna spill it everywhere.
Ooh, that's a nice shot.
That is a nice shot.
It's the opening tracking shot. Well, it's the first time you see the prison. There's a really nice kind of uninterrupted tracking shot of the road up to the prison itself, and then over on into the yard, and it goes all the way up and around and down and ends on like a really personal sort of character interaction.
No, 1994 when Shawshank Redemption was released. That was also the year.
I see what you did there, because it's about a prison.
Yeah. No, but it's about a prison break. No one gets released.
Yeah.
Except Red.
So
94 was the year Deakins was admitted to the American Society of Cinematographers as well.
What a hero.
he
And
took on the
Shawshank.
award for it, didn't he?
He took home that award and he was nominated for.
He didn't win it, but he took it home.
Yeah.
He's a sneaky
He,
fuck.
he was nominated for the Oscar for that film, which of course he didn't
Lost.
win.
Yep.
Yeah, he lost to. I'll get it in a second. He lost to Legends of the Fall.
Which,
John
again,
Pell.
I super agree with because it's got maybe some of the best cine of any Western I've ever seen.
Yeah. But
And-
we'll
And there are
get,
two Deakins Westerns in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one.
Not only two Deakins Westerns, two Deakins Westerns in 1 year.
Two Deakins Westerns.
Oh, sorry. You're right. There are three Deakins Westerns.
So
in that.
so wait, so Deakins is the guy that song was written about. You're the second best around.
For 11 years of his life.
Shame.
13 years.
I thought this was American.
I thought America.
But
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Ooh, that's a good
yeah.
one.
That's what I'm
Really
talking about.
nice, like inside the prison bus, kind of the last time you have any sort of interaction with the outside world.
And look at that staff symmetry of their legs. I dig it.
More legs, Deon. You dig
Legs.
legs. You love legs.
Yeah.
He actually and this is weird to say, but there are a couple of shots of just like legs and feet, and
Ooh,
Has he worked
Tarantino
with
was just sitting there
No.
like.
no, you see, they've always got shoes on.
Oh, 8% different.
Oh, right,
Tarantino
that's actually
couldn't-
more. It's actually just more tittillating.
Leaves
Well, I
more to
mean,
the
when
imagination.
speaking about his foot fetish, Tarantino has expressly stated that he likes seeing them in shoes. So
Is that like lingerie?
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say
deviants?
shoes
Yeah,
are just
pretty
lingerie
much.
for the feet. No, secret socks are lingerie.
Isn't a secret
Shoes
sock a
are
thong?
like
shoes
kimonos.
like a little red dress.
If we could stop discussing foot fetishes, that would make me very happy.
So we could need to discuss it more, is what
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
Okay, so the next slide doesn't involve feet, but it
Oh, I
does.
can see some
I can,
feet
I
though.
can see quite a few feet there.
And it's
That, just that whole look of that prison is fucking
It's-
amazing.
It really is. It's the
Sorry to interrupt. Did he do Green Mile as well?
No, you'd think it though.
Yeah.
This is the first night where that prisoner cries out and gets beaten to death by the guard, and just really nice use of shadow, and it makes it look really threatening, and he's very much alone.
Did you say sorry to interrupt?
Yes.
Because
Who are
Thomas
you?
started looking really sad.
That's just my face. I look like this all the time.
He's got resting sad face. I got resting bitch face. You know.
I got resting derp face.
But yeah, like
Which resting face do I have?
you have a face.
Yeah, like resting concerned face.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do actually.
Yeah, you do kinda.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, like Deon said, the look of the prison is really nice, and because of the way it's constructed, it's almost like they built it for cinematographers to get really nice shots. You
Almost like that.
You should thank prison designers, really.
Thanks, Foucault.
Thanks,
bought that and,
privatization
yo,
of
fun.
the
Yeah.
prison system.
Fun fact:
Yeah.
he was actually consulted while they were busy building this set to be able to get the best shots.
Set? That's not a set, that's a prison, Marcus.
Yeah. Another fun fact about prison: snitches get stitches.
I heard
Really?
that.
Yeah.
You notice Markus'
Oh, because
nose?
they get, like, because you pull out your best comedy routine for a snitch.
And if you look at Marcus's nose,
Marcus
you'll
tried
know
to snitch on
why.
Apple.
Yeah, I did, and I paid for
And
it.
he got Oz'd in the shower.
Yeah,
Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
yeah, and he did
Ooh,
have some
that's a nice one
input.
too.
Yeah, that just immediately makes me sad.
Well, the next shot is,
It's the shot.
is
isn't
the
it?
shot, and again, feet, but the best part is the out of focus reflection
Yeah.
in the mirror to
Yeah.
just like really ram it home and how fucking hardcore. The fact that this whole sequence existed like over the course of 2 minutes and is actually revealed to just be the reading of a letter is just mind blowing.
The dusty right
Yeah.
shoe.
Yeah.
So good. And then, the moment of tranquility, long crane shot when he plays opera over the speakers and everyone just freezes, and it's really nicely framed. It's this kind of moment together with, the guards and the prisoners. And,
Everyone looking up at that loudspeaker like that.
yeah.
Everyone's best friends.
Everybody's friends.
Tell me about my best friend.
And then the moment with the kind of, I suppose the seeds for the escape are kind of hatched and shows them alone, and a really nice thing. There's also a really nice shot at the beginning when they come into the prison of like a camera tilt up and you see all the way up and it looks like the prison goes forever and then like it's just black. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yes,
shot where they discover the escape tunnel. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
boop her butt.
And that's
Wait a second.
Which one do you want to talk about next, Marcus?
That's sure.
Of the list that I...
Oh, go to whichever's next in your thing.
Next, we've got...
Oh, brother.
Because my stuff is all just chronological, so I can easily.
Okay, well, what's next chronologically?
Chronologically, importance-wise, is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Because we're going over Kundun, right? We're skipping over it.
Yes, we're skipping over Kundun because he did fantastic work on Kundun, don't get me wrong, but
However.
he didn't do anything.
Revolutionary. Which is why he didn't win.
Yeah. And even when he does revolutionary things
still
at this
doesn't
stage
win.
in his career, he still doesn't win. Because
Yeah, I mean, how you
Americans
supposed
hate
to
him.
beat Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah, like...
Like, I mean, oh brother, we're out there. Look at
Unable.
that shit, but you're fighting a cultural zeitgeist with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes.
Not just that. I mean, this one's got a better soundtrack though, so this one should have won
The...
for cinematography.
Do you want to know something interesting about the soundtrack? I'm sure I've told you this before, but the guy that they pick up at the crossroads is the guy that did the soundtrack,
Ah,
No.
nice.
and is a like really successful jazz blues musician.
Damn.
Now, what I need to tell
I mean,
you...
this film basically like revitalized folk music as a
And-
commercial
And
force.
thank God.
Yeah. What you have to remember...
Without this, we would have never had Angus and Julius. And... I hate that shit. Yes, Marcus.
You wouldn't tell by looking at this, but that grass is actually super green and lush.
Yes, you're going to talk
Ah.
about this.
So, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Did he spill acid on the film again by
Yeah,
accident?
Yeah, he brings
It's a
bleach
joke.
everywhere.
It's a humor.
Yeah,
No,
he
but,
always
but
has a
bleach
bottle
is a
of
base,
No,
not
no.
acid.
Jason,
No.
he brings margarita mix.
So, Oh
doesn't
Brother,
get it.
Where Art Thou? Was the first film, and this again is
Was the
Deakin's
first
point.
film? Oh, you can see it's in black and white.
Yeah,
so it makes
was the
sense.
first film to be completely digitally color corrected.
Ah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it
you
was
could,
shot-
see, you could see how it's not warm. It's not organic. I wanted to link you. Did you see that article? The guy, who's it? It's Ryan Johnson, cinematographer.
Yes.
That article about him, like all his research he's been doing over the last 15 years into film, and
No.
like how to prove a point, that we've been going about like the whole study of why film versus digital and everything, and he's been doing like a scientific study of like what makes film look like film, and he's got to the point where he can replicate it in digital perfectly, because he's actually researched that like in an actual scientific way. And with Last Jedi, he would sometimes, without telling anyone, that film is completely intercut film and digital. Sometimes he would use to cut back to a character's face, the shot of the character's face, cut away, cut back. One would be digital, one would be film.
Fucking amazing.
Wow.
He's literally got to that point now.
Fantastic.
And the whole of Knives Out is digitally shot.
Okay,
That's
in
pretty
the director's
impressive.
commentary for Knives Out, they actually talk about the making. Now that you're saying this actually brings a lot of context, because he talks about his cinematographer making digital feel like film.
Oh, yeah?
In the director's commentary.
Because everyone talks about like film feels like this, and you know, you got
Yeah.
your Christopher
I
Nolan
talk about
quotes and
that.
all of that, and he's actually broken it down, and there's terms he's actually had to invent terminology, because there's aspects of it that you instinctively know are there but that don't actually have names, and people
but you
like
can't quantify.
a character against a light, you know, at certain brightness levels will have a red aura, but like as the brightness level increases,
It'll
the color
go
of
white
that
or
aura,
yellow.
all that fucking stuff he's gone and like methodically
Please link that
yeah,
to me.
it's fucking great.
But yes.
But this still looks
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, so they recolored the entire film to give it this autumnal view, because they shot it in the height of summer.
Yeah, so they shot it
That's
at the
amazing.
exact wrong time.
Yeah.
Of the year. And again, sorry, just to go back to Knives Out. Johnson talks about like, yeah, we shot this in the middle of winter, and when we started, all of the trees looked really great, but you'll see throughout the movie that sometimes the shots of the trees, and they're completely barren, and we just hope nobody would notice.
I didn't notice.
We talked
Sticklers would notice.
to art department about stapling the leaves back onto the trees. But decided that would be too time consuming.
Wow. Ryan Johnson is a hack confirmed.
Nolan would have stapled
More
it
like
up there
Ruin
himself.
Johnson. Ugh, George Lucas would have stapled the trees.
He's visionary.
Digitally.
He would have yelled at them.
Yeah.
He was putting like really garish CG trees.
It would have made
Walking around.
noises. But yeah, lots of really nice long
Oh,
symmetry shots.
beautiful.
Ooh, that's a beautiful one.
You know, in the writing credits for this film, Homer is acknowledged.
Oh,
As in the
nice.
writer of
No,
Yeah,
the
really.
Simpsons character.
Like, because it's technically based on the Iliad,
Yeah.
but like Homer is acknowledged in the IMDb as a writer of this film.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
amazing.
Oh, what a good time.
I think
yes,
that was
the
just so the
shots.
Coen brothers could say that they worked with
Yeah.
Homer.
We're getting
Well,
wet.
The thing about the Coen brothers is, man, they fucking love Deakins.
Yeah.
Boy, do they call him up a lot. And
They used to, but in the spate of their most recent films, they've worked with other people to
because
their
he-
own detriment.
Yeah, it's to their detriment, and because Deakins was fucking busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Deakins got a call from Denis. Mm-hmm. And
when-
squarely
when-
in that camp.
When Denny calls Deakins, Deakins comes.
Well,
a-running.
it was Mendes first.
It
Before
was
he worked with Villeneuve.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so why are you skipping Mendes?
No,
We're not
good.
gonna
I
skip
mean, is that
Mendes,
really- Yeah.
We can't skip Mendes. I mean, come on.
Come on.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna apologize to you in advance. I didn't realize this when I read the article, which is credit to the article writer.
okay. Is this a Polygon article?
Yes.
You.
But it's really good. I'm sorry.
God.
A stop clock is right twice a time.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah, but there's the baptismal scene, which is also really, really beautifully shot, and actually reminds me a lot of a similar shot that you see in 1917, where the other squad
Blake
mate
Lively, yeah.
is walking through the forest, and the
Blake
soldiers just kind of swim into focus.
Yeah.
Similar thing happens in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where they're all sitting around eating gophers, and all of a sudden these people just kind of materialize from nowhere, and then you go over.
Yeah, you
into this
can't. You
long
don't know
hand
where
shot.
it's a
Yeah.
very like.
It's very surreal.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the whole experience is very surreal. And then the crossroads where he sold his soul to the devil for blues music.
Angry Street.
Yes.
Angry Street.
That this was Angry Street, where they get beaten up by John Goodman's character playing the Cyclops. Oh no, it's the Klan.
Yep.
Do you know what's really
Oh,
funny?
there's Donald Trump's dad.
Do you know what's really funny about the sequence?
You.
Yes. But in the movie, because the Klan is doing a whole bunch of marching stuff, they went to a high school to get their like marching band and their cadets. Most of them were black.
Amazing.
Wow, I love that.
Well, I mean, they were shooting in rural Mississippi.
So like, I found that really funny.
That is really funny.
We've got too far. But yeah, that's Oh Brother, where art thou?
Where art thou?
Did they ever actually answer the question?
They did not. It is kind of
That haunts me.
it haunts us all. Next, we have The Big Lebowski.
How big?
Pretty fucking big. But yeah, not a lot of amazing shots in this because it was kind of a more, human based, but like it was a smaller scale story, so it didn't really have a lot of room to create these sort of amazing composition shots. But he pulls off a couple of them, like that one. Or that one.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one that they make a homage to in American Beauty.
Yes, exactly that, which is weird.
It's
Especially
equally
with-
sexy.
Yeah. Well, I think this was.
I'd argue this
I
is
think
a
it's
little
bit
sexier, yeah.
Like, there's a little,
Yeah, it's a little bit
there's
sexier.
a bit-
Look at that Jeff Bridges. He's like halfway between young Jeff Bridges and old Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
which is peak Jeff Bridges.
I mean, that's pure Bridges.
Pure distilled Bridges.
Yeah, I really like this one because it just kind of all three characters are in the scene, but they're all kind of separate from each other. The way that it's shot.
Because they're all on their cell phones.
Yes, kids today. I wish they just live in the moment.
It's the framing. It's how you can see how each one of them has one lane to the left and one lane to the right of them.
Yeah, it's really
It helps,
nice.
Like,
Break them up.
The cinematographer for Parasite actually did a very similar thing, where if on rewatching, have a look at the lines and the framing, you'll always see that
There's a divide
the
between
grifting
the-
family are literally apart from, and they do it with physical lines in the environment. Like the key shot that they use to illustrate it is when you first meet the madam.
Yeah.
There's
the window
The window. He's on the left side and they're on the right side, and like they will always walk on the left side of the corridor and they walk on the right side of the corridor, and it's more than just a thing where you can see the characters. It's an actual storytelling device.
Damn. A lot of thought put into that.
A lot of thought. Like glad that 1917 won, of course, but they were a close fucking runner-up.
yeah.
And then the sequence where he gets knocked out and has the weird
Oh yeah, the
They-
weird
yeah.
bowling dream.
bowling dream
weird
with that
bowling.
really nice song. I like that song. Doo, doo, doo. More bowling.
James Bond legs there.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was kind of the only opportunity in the film to do something like weird and trippy. So I think they took full advantage. Saddam Hussein is his fucking bowling shoe guy,
Yeah.
and then the antagonists. No, Donnie, these men are nihilists. You have nothing to worry about.
I fucking love Stephen Merchant.
He's
What a tall, gangly man.
Yep.
Is that Stephen
Very
Merchant?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had no idea.
He's one of the nihilists.
It's one of those weird things like where I only learned really who Stephen Merchant was like after the Ricky Gervais show.
Yeah.
So they're like going back to all these old things like, hey, that's him.
That's fucking it.
That's him as
I
well.
just thought it's like, well, that's Peter Stormare, because when you want a Scandinavian man to be a Russian, you call Peter Stormare.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then the nice shot at the end with they're getting Donnie's ashes. And then when they're
Scattering it into.
right into
Right in his face.
Bridges' face, and that whole thing about Vietnam. He just gets so angry about it. What's next on your chronological list, Marcus?
Chronologically, for me, the next one would be his first film with Sam Mendes.
Oh,
Unless
The-
you've got
the-
something in between.
The
I mean,
what's
we
it?
could talk lightly about the one time he worked with M. Night Shyamalan.
What film did he work with?
I
The
am
Village.
The Village. I've got nothing. I've got no cine from The Village,
the Village,
Yeah.
I believe
Mostly-
you'll find.
and not because the cine was bad, but just because I just kind of refuse to watch it again.
Yeah.
Even from
I
an
still
academic
remember. I
perspective.
remember watching it, and for like the first third, being like,
This is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm in
fucking
this.
invested.
Dude, right?
Do you know what? Do you know what? It mirrored exactly my feelings throughout the movie. Joker.
Yes. But like the first third, you sit there
yeah.
like, hey,
You're
they're
fucking in
fucking
it.
pulling this off. Like, yeah.
And then it's like, oh.
and then you just slowly like,
And then all the wheels come off.
All the wheels come off, and then those wheels individually shit themselves while the cart shits itself.
And then it comes out and punches you.
Of course, the first.
if you're not
and then,
laughing
it,
at my
and, then
jokes,
it,
you
and, then it,
suck.
and then it shouts at you for a while about everything it just did. The wheels came off. Did you see? It was a metaphor. Did you see they shat themselves? It was a metaphor.
for wheels coming off and shitting themselves.
But no, we'll talk about Mendes, and we'll talk about one of Jason's favorite films, Jarhead.
Yes.
Yes.
Do enjoy that movie
2005.
Is that
so
like
very
is that a gritty like reboot of the side character from Archie?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
Ow.
It is one
Jarhead.
of 2 war films I've seen that does not glorify war.
And boy, does that do a fucking great job of it.
Yep. It's got lots. It's very much an homage to Kubrick's work on Full Metal
It
Jacket.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Like
And-
it is absolutely
And
that.
like Mendes directed the hell out of it, and Deakins shot the shit out of this
I
movie.
think that this
I thought it
movie,
didn't glorify violence.
I think this movie succeeds more where something like The Hurt Locker received more sort of accolade for. Whereas I felt this film was more successful in its execution and what it was trying to say.
Yeah.
Even though the two are similarly themed. But yeah.
My war was over, and I didn't fire a single bullet.
Yep.
Also, it does mean the 2 movies where the 2 movies where it doesn't glorify war are both done by Mendes.
Hey!
What's
It's
the other
almost like he's British and has had
1917.
It's almost like he's British and that country's had this like really like bad experience with wars in the 20th
Yeah.
century.
I mean,
In the
it's kind of
20th
karma.
century.
Well,
in the
yeah,
twen-
but you think you'd learn from they'd have learned from that.
yeah.
So it's been like, what are you doing, America? Cool, we're in.
Wait,
We're in. Fucking let's go.
or if I can
I
come with
mean,
you.
look at that.
Look at that fucking shit.
Just go back one.
Okay.
Just go back one. There's no CG in that shot.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, a less talented DOP would
Would
say,
have just been
we'll
like, we're
just
not gonna
we'll
shoot
add
it."
reflections in post, the mirage effect. No, Deakins was like, I can get the shot right now, line them up, let's go. And they
Fucking
did.
do it.
And then afterwards he was like, oh shit, there's a bunch of mirage crap in there. I hope no one notices.
I think this is
Fucking
really.
up my
What are
shot.
these weird how does sand even reflect?
I hope everyone thinks I'm doing really artsy stuff. But yeah, I just really like the
That's
film.
cool
Oh,
with, with the long shadow of the
That guy playing golf.
helicopter and
Yes.
thing.
I thought it didn't glorify. It's like South Park. Oh, were you stationed with a water slide?
Yeah, and then them finding the highway of death, which was spooky. Which the Americans are super saying Russia did. It was,
Russia did it.
it was Russia. It wasn't us. We didn't kill
It was
us.
totally Russia.
We didn't kill those civilians.
Damn, that's a good shot. With the footprints through the ash.
Yeah, and then the next one is the follow up, which is really poignant.
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's like the framing. Of...
Oh
Have you
dude, why's
watched
Mysterio there?
Oh yeah, because it's
Have
pretty
you watched
mysterious.
No,
Joy?
I haven't seen this.
You really should watch Joy. It's really good.
It's worth your time.
Ah,
and
yes,
then-
the
Oh,
oil
the burning
fields.
oil
The
fields.
burning oil fields. Oh no, we've gone too far.
No, we've gone too far.
We've got one too far.
Well, have we not gone too far enough?
We have not gone too far. Strangely enough, he was not nominated
For Jarhead.
Jarhead.
Well, seeing as this episode is running a bit long, how many more do we have left?
Let me see.
Because perhaps we must move on to the Blade Runners.
Look, I want to do Sicario.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, look, the other ones I would talk about would be The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford,
One of
which
the
is
westerns.
great
yeah.
western, really nice
And
framing.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men, which also great western, really nice framing.
He got nominated for both of those films in the
the
same
same
year for Best
year.
Cinematography and lost.
Yeah,
Okay, well, those slides are busy going through now as we're...
yeah. And
That's what
then
we're talking.
my favorite of his westerns, True
True
Grit.
Grit in
The remake.
2010.
Yes.
Which
Another
which-
Jeff Bridges.
Okay, yeah. Look, I will show from each of those films. I will show you each one,
Okay.
and this is my favorite frame from True Grit.
Yeah.
Yep,
Good.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
I prefer the one like say 3 frames after that.
I mean,
I mean, if you want to be a stickler like that, but it does say something about, you know, your...
Yeah.
this is my favorite frame from Assassination of Jesse James, right at the end,
Ooh.
where they're taking the photos of his corpse. And
corpse.
I know my favorite frame from fucking No Country.
No Country for Old Men.
Yep, I know it very well.
Fuck
It's a
off,
bit
old man. We
ageist.
don't want you there. We don't want you here. We don't want you anywhere. Into the ocean with you.
Ah, yes.
Very nice, after he garrots that guy.
Got it.
But yeah, then Sicario. My...
Well, just
God.
quickly before Sicario,
Hey, you talk.
he also worked with Sam Mendes again on Skyfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we know.
Denis.
There we know.
Oh yeah, sorry, and I need to
And-
show you another one from a Denis film.
Yeah,
And
and, then
that's Prisoners.
Yeah, and then between those two, between what's it? Well, before Skyfall, basically from 2008 to around 2014, he also had a bit of a stint consulting on animated films. And
Thomas seems to be
What did he
touched by
work on?
that.
Rango.
and yeah,
Rango.
he served as a visual consultant on the following films. These are the notable ones:
Yeah.
Wall-E,
Okay, yes.
Rango, Rise of the Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
The Croods, which we'll skip that one. But both the first and
we
second
didn't
How
skip
to Train Your Dragon films, which I
That
know
makes
you
sense.
love.
Which makes it.
I absolutely love those.
And this
Well,
is my...
I absolutely, totally love them.
Oh god, I absolutely duper totally love them.
Fuck, well, I can't top that.
And this is my favorite frame
Ah.
from Prisoners.
Look at that Hugh Jackman.
Yo, he doesn't act in this movie.
Yo,
He doesn't act in that movie.
That's that's not a
Prisoners-
normal Ackman, that's a huge Ackman.
Yeah.
That's a huge Ackman, and he does a huge Ackman
Prisoners
in it.
unsettles the shit out of me for the entire run.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've seen it, right?
Huh?
You've seen Prisoners, yes?
Nope.
Do yourself a favor.
I will do myself
Now
a
I'm going to
favor.
show you some Sicario, because my God,
Ooh, yes.
it is beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's beautifully shot. What's being shot is
Yeah.
beautiful.
6 of 1, half potatoes of a dozen.
Yeah. We're all laughing like, oh, good one, Thomas, and he's just quite low-key having a stroke.
But yeah, the aerial symmetry photography that they do in this movie
Yeah.
is
Ooh, that's real pretty.
magnificent.
Someone got a drone for their birthday. I don't like the cursor in all these shots, though.
Yeah, it seems a weird choice for him, but it definitely seems to be like a constant stylistic choice of his.
That's what they say in jazz.
like-
If you make a mistake, do it twice so they think you meant it.
It's, you know, it's like Zima Blue. You know, he's always got the cursor and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I don't have the reference point for that.
It's fine. Do, 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 do.
Oh, this reminds me of that Jesse Eisenberg film.
Why?
It's like hurting the attention of a cat.
What?
What?
That is absolutely the phrase. 100% the well-known phrase, hurting the attention of a cat.
Don't judge the cover of a book by its look.
Don't, yeah, potatoes. But man, the daytime, the like sunrise and sunset shots in this movie just make me feel so sorry for the crew, because I know that is a 4 a.m. call.
Yep.
I've done one in my life where we did a time lapse of sunrise over Ladysmith for a music video. Yeah, no,
Never again.
no.
Never again.
No.
Although I did like that video of Joe's, where they took a shot of them going to the horses every morning.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is my favorite frame.
That lady looks blue.
And she also looks blue.
And she looks sad.
Love it.
Forlorn.
The band and all of its significance. I really like that you can see them like fuzzy and her just like her realization of it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. and then
that
consequences.
guy. Yeah.
Consequences.
Again.
That's a
In-
Jarhead shot.
No.
Speaking
it's-
of,
alright.
you can keep going through them. Speaking of Denis Villeneuve, did you see that Lindsay Ellis did a nice little snapback on Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Oh no, but please do tell me.
No, tell me.
Because he was like, I was watching the movie Arrival, and it struck me that they never considered that when the aliens were writing their circles, that they might have been reading it backwards. Because, you know, it's on glass and things
Yeah.
like that. And Lindsay Ellis replied like, okay, usually I leave these things alone, but this bothers me. They literally address it in the film and say it doesn't matter if it's backwards or not, because
Yeah.
they're learning it anyway.
They talk about
Yeah.
the fact
Jeremy
that there is
Renner's
no
character.
beginning
Yeah.
or no end to the way that heptapods write their things.
Yeah.
There's actually a word that he uses for the fact that it is both forwards and backwards
It's
at the same time.
palindromic.
It's not that, but
It's not that, but it's close.
Yeah.
yeah.
So she was like, Neil
Paleodromic.
deGrasse Tyson.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude, I just fucking
Stay in your
unfollowed,
fucking lane.
blocked and unfollowed that fucker months ago.
Yeah.
It just got way too much.
It's just too much.
way
God,
too. He was
he's-
entertaining for like there was a 6-month period.
I was there.
The
I
thing
was
is,
there.
he had so much potential to be like Carl Sagan, and
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
just let the fame go straight to
Yep.
his head.
100%.
But yeah, this is my final amazing shot of the film. There's a really nice poignant shot of the officer that Medellin hijacks and then kills because he's using him to get to the drug cartel. There's a poignant shot of like back in his apartment with his kid kind of just looking at his bed, but it wasn't framed very nice.
It wasn't framed nicely. That's where Deakins fucked up. So
No, that was like B-roll footage. That was given off to some lesser.
second unit picked that
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And now, much like the breakdown, do you want to read everybody the breakdown of shots that I collected for this and why we're going to be spending the lion's share of it talking about?
we've already spent the lion's share of the episode, so we will
Well,
zoom through
will
all of
zoom
those
through the-
800 photos.
Yeah, so-
we will zoom through the entirety of Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
Which I watched twice in the collection of these.
Let's see, what was that? Here we go.
Yeah.
Perfect shots. Blade Runner 2049.
Well, go from the
Go
top.
from the
so
top,
down.
yeah.
1984, 4. Fargo, 6. True Grit, 6. Prisoners, 7. Jarhead, 7. No Country for Old Men, 7. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, 8. Big Lebowski, 8. The Assassin of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, 10. Shawshank, 10. Sicario, 15. Blade Runner 2049, 712.
Yeah, it's a lot.
The actual number is
40
59, but you know,
59.
I like the 712.
I'm really that shot right there.
Ali G reference. There we go.
IMG reference really makes me sad that we haven't seen like the initial cut that they had of it.
Oh,
Oh,
the
the
4-hour
assembly
cut.
cut.
With the
4-hour cut.
original planned cut where he wanted it to
An
be
intermission.
an intermission and each half to start with the thing on
Eventually
the eye.
we will.
Yeah, I think so.
We could
I mean,
just
it
cut
is a
that-
Blade Runner movie.
It's a
so
Blade Runner-
We'll
we're
see
getting
three other
re-released.
versions
Just
before
give
we
it 20.
get that
Just
one.
give it 20 years.
And we'll get the final cut.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just,
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure everyone at home is enjoying the shit out of our reactions to these.
the
Man,
thing,
I hope they're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, they just listen to you guys go, yeah,
My God.
Oh.
the thing is, like, as a director, Villeneuve basically spoke to Deakins and was like, you know what? You're off leash. Go. Every shot.
Be free, my child.
No, it's like, listen, we've got
Oh.
all this money. Every shot you've ever wanted to do, fucking go for it. We've already got
Yeah,
the
because
backing.
this was Denis' first like AAA movie. Like
Yeah.
the other movies he worked on had budgets. Like Arrival had a budget, Person had a budget, but this was the first like Sony going, all right, here's a blank fucking
Yeah.
check.
I mean, that shot there looks like
like
he
Field.
he came to Denny and was like, imagine if farms could be really sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just looks like desaturated Durbanville.
It's great because like when the shot begins, you think you're looking at fields.
Yeah.
And then as it pans over, it's like, oh no, these are containers.
Yeah.
These are containers full of the automated farming and like the horrible life that, you see here. And that's in every one of those containers. And it's meant to look like this idyllic, oh, it's actually all fucked.
Yeah.
Fucking
Wait a second. This film didn't do very well at the box office, did it?
Yeah, it did.
It did
Didn't
alright.
do that great.
It broke even and then some,
Okay.
which is more than you could hope for Blade Runner.
No, I was just thinking because I mean, like, if it didn't sort of make triple its budget back, then it's probably
I
not
don't
seen
think-
as a big success.
I don't think it did.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that Blade Runner 2049 was a bit of a Batista bomb?
Get out.
My studio.
You don't deserve
I don't.
Hunter's in the corner.
Hunter's so disappointed in us.
It's just a
my
disapproving
children,
Austrian
my
man.
children.
Look at him.
I'm so disappointed.
I mean, even our son is disappointed in that.
He's just looking at me like, Dad?
$260 million US dollars.
USD dollars.
USD dollars.
US
Stronzi.
USD dollars.
Oh, it's so good. Look at it.
Look at that fucking framing. Just like, the outsider coming in and the inside just being separate from it from that airlock. Just so much visual language.
It made 80 million. Oh, Martina's behind you.
Oh, hello, Martina.
It's my wife. Another Borat reference.
Oh, yeah. Very, very good, very good.
You continue.
All right, next frame. In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Next frame. Oh, more eyeball stuff.
The
There seems
eyeball
to be
stuff?
kind of a motif here.
There's something of a motif.
Yeah.
No, the little bit of life by the tree. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Which is actually a little bit of life by the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think
Visual-
you're such a smart boy, Jason.
He's pretty
I
smart.
know I'm a smart boy, Jason.
He edits this podcast, Jason.
Yeah.
Wait, shit! I've gone too far! Him with the door, with the tree, just... Oh, the symmetry! Can't even see what that one is.
I think that's the initial seawall.
No, that's not the seawall. That's the city.
Right, the city. I can't, like...
You can see
from
the.
my head, I cannot actually
Yeah.
see.
It took a while for my eyes to get used to it. Yeah, these are the city shots. What I fucking love is that city is a perfect blend of practical and digital effects.
Yep. The way that Weta put this together, and it's so genius, them having Weta Practical and Weta Digital working on it so they could
Exactly.
run these cameras through these bigature sets and just... Oh!
Yep.
Oh!
Also, that term bigatures.
I love it.
You can keep going with the shots. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. That LAPD building is like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
Which
to...
is certainly a bigature.
It's certainly somewhat large.
But yeah, I mean, everyone who, like, this film just essentially points out to people like, oh, digital effects are shit, practical's always better.
And you're like, nah.
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 They can be
nah,
the
nah,
best
nah,
of
nah,
friends.
nah.
Yeah.
They can be the best buds. So good.
I mean, just go back one.
Whip.
I mean, that is also just a perfect recreation of one of the shots from the original film.
Exactly.
And only Deakins has the respect for source material and photography to actually go for stuff like that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, every single one of his shots, you feel the scale of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that the city feels like a character in and of itself, but you certainly feel the, like, cloying, pressing immensity of it.
It's massive, but still claustrophobic.
Yes.
It's something that Dread 2012, was it 2012 that was?
Yes.
Yeah.
That Dread tried to get across,
But
never did.
Well, it didn't have the
It
budget.
didn't have the budget to.
No,
That's the problem.
It didn't have the budget to, but it's what Dread wanted to do.
Yes. I just really like how in every scene with Joy, you always can see through her just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a little bit. They never...
Matt, it took them, 6 months to do that sex scene?
6 months to film the sex scene. My God. And
Absolutely insane.
revolutionized filmmaking technology.
Yeah.
Again, just Deakins being a...
Yeah, with the what did they actually call it? The shot where
just
where
keep
it's
going
literally
while I go
the actress and the prostitute and the hologram, and he was like, it's not gonna look. Let's just shoot them both. Like,
Yeah.
Let's just.
It's so far beyond that, like, just shooting them both doing the same thing, though. It
Because
requires...
they're slightly off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would, and the fact that they didn't, because the temptation is there to just to just completely do it in CG.
Yeah.
You know, to eliminate any sort of foibles. But the foibles are what make it so much more immersive, because you really believe that these are two kind of characters intermingling with themselves. And
These shots are always very cool, where you can see she's underneath Neander's like huge water office,
yeah, it's just
like always below him.
always the visual storytelling.
Like they say, tell, don't show.
They do say that. They
That's
even,
why they don't call it visual story showing.
Exactly.
Yeah, they even show it. A special guest!
Martina, comment.
Quickly, Martina, look at the shot and comment on it.
Martina says, "Nah." So take that.
Take that. Deakins just slap the Oscar out of his hand. Just slap it out of the fucking
That's
hand.
why your father can't remember your birthday.
That's like my criticism of Charlie's Angels. When
Now
you're
you,
like,
now you can see why my phone autocorrected like it did.
Auto-corrected.
But man, just everything.
Yeah.
Just everything. Oh, the little origami. Yeah, yeah.
Little oregano.
Oregano. It's actually how it's pronounced, I found,
put
yeah.
on pizza. Yeah.
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 I hear it's.
Weirdly, while you're still going through these,
No. Yes.
Deakins isn't doing Dune.
No.
He's not,
It's
which
the,
I was really
It's
surprised.
the Rogue One fella.
yeah, which I am happy with.
I'm happy with. I think the reason he's not doing Dune.
He's a coward.
Give the
It's
man.
unadaptable.
Thank you, Werner Herzog.
He did. Look, he just came off. I think he
Herzog.
deserves to take a break.
No, he doesn't, because he's gonna die eventually. We
Yeah,
need as much
we
as we
need-
can.
this is the
He must
golden
work
era.
himself to death before he dies.
He's gonna die on set like the guy from My Name is Dolomite.
Like, what's his name?
Guitar player guy.
No, man, the
guy from
fucking
Gladiator.
the direct man, Mad Max.
Oh yes, Babe.
George
2,
Corpse
Pig in the
Grinder
Sea.
Fisher.
What the fuck is his name?
George
Miller. George Miller is absolutely going to die making Mad Max 2 or 3.
Yes.
Like,
You mean 4 or 5?
no, 2 or 3, because
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
like a
2 or
whole
3.
the modern
Reboot.
yeah.
A reboot quill.
Hey, look, an eye.
Or is it?
Or is
Yo, that shot is
what
trash.
satellite except a space eye?
Lots of trash.
Garbage.
Big trash.
Oh, that is amazing. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You always get the sense of scale.
Yeah, even when you're out in the boonies.
That's the one thing that that dude got right with Rogue One. That gives me
Yeah.
some hope for Dune, even though it is not
Not our
Deakins,
man.
Is that he got the whole fucking scale
Yeah.
thing right?
Yeah.
The big shit in Rogue One felt big.
Big.
It felt enormous.
Like the injustice of not having more
More Rogue One.
yeah,
Yeah.
more of
More of a
More budget.
Yeah.
Baz and
that's that sex scene.
Chit-
That's that sex scene, and that is my favorite shot in the whole
Yeah.
thing. Just the
The hands.
hands like combing.
I like that it's the hands and then the hands under and it looks like they're webbed.
Yeah,
And it makes you think about what is it to be human?
I suppose so.
It shows me the duality of man.
The duality of man, the Jungian thing, sir.
Yeah, same show as earlier, pretty much, but
Yeah.
more symmetrical.
But more spooky.
Yeah.
Because she's wearing red.
Man, she killed in that role.
She was
Yeah.
fucking robbed. She was not even nominated. My god.
She was kind of robotic though.
They
Sorry.
prefer the term synthetic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
these shots.
it's what I'm
Yeah.
fucking talking about.
I was waiting for these ones.
The desert.
The desert.
Dessert.
More
of
like the
real.
dessert.
I beat you to it, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry, your mother's really nice. I shouldn't be saying things like that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You actual bitch yourself.
You,
Oh,
sir,
look at it!
are the
Look at it!
bitch.
Look at it!
I'm looking at
The draw distance in this engine fucking sucks.
it's Silent Hill all over again. So why is the town all foggy and spooky? Well,
Draw distance, I guess. God, thank you, technical limitations. This
Oh.
fucking shot
Yeah.
is so important and is framed so nicely.
Your Tarantino loves this one.
Shut up.
No, he doesn't. There's a hand in there, and he's like, ugh. Weird people with their hand fetishes.
Yep.
Imagine getting turned on by looking at hands. Ugh.
Savages. And then the first shot of the fuck. The revelation that the recreation of
The recreation.
Harrison Ford's love interest from the original Blade Runner, the revelation that she is entirely digital is fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, there is zero uncanny valley with her.
Yeah.
It looks like a real person.
I
Not
didn't
like-
know
I
that
thought-
until this very second, so
Really?
yes.
It is a completely digital person.
I did not know
It
that
is
literally until
It is
this
not
second.
a de-aged person. It is not a person with a sock on its head. It is a completely digital construct.
That's madness. Deon's mind has been
Yo.
blown.
But Deon, digital effects make the film look really cheap and
Not really.
like-
Not in this case. Actually, you've just
What?
you just counted your own points.
No! What a hilarious turn of events!
She looks real fake though. She could see right through her.
This is actually my
You try and take on Deon in the world of sarcasm in his own home.
I tried. I failed.
My house.
This is my Google Chrome background, actually.
Nice.
I love it.
Oh, and then whatever you're actively working on, you put next to where your finger is.
Yeah.
Poke.
Everything you ever want to hear.
That's
They-
that
this-
is the saddest thing.
It's funny because they actually, in the first 5 minutes of the film, you see an ad for Joy, but it's really small and like top right, and it's you know, Joy, everything you want to see. But you see it's very small, but they show it I think 3 times before you see it here.
Oh, nice.
So they're actually telling you the whole time it's not real. God.
Man, when we were watching that the first time in the cinema
And
and
Seawall
Seawall
started.
Oh,
and then
Deon,
fucking
Deon just
lost
looked at
it.
me immediately. He was like, "Wah!"
It was too much, man. It was a religious experience.
I like
It
how-
was a religious
It
experience.
really was when you first got Spotify.
Yeah, my Spotify. It was just that
Seawall on repeat.
You're a hero, dear. And then
Oh, Tears in
then-
the Snow. Yep, Tears in the Snow. That
Snow.
updated.
That's like Tears in the Rain, but colder.
Yeah.
yeah, actually.
yeah,
And-
accurate.
And that's Blade Runner 2049.
It's pretty good.
I'm like, yeah. I'm really surprised it took
I
him so
really
long
am
to
desperate to
win.
watch that again.
It is on the Netflix's.
Yeah,
for
but
us.
I have the Blu-ray Deluxe, so it's like my balls.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stick that on my fucking projector,
Yep.
soundbar, and rattle the.
Now,
The neighbors are gonna listen
unfortunately-
to it with me.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to go through 1917 as well.
The thing is, we
But-
can't really go through it properly until Deon has seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. But one thing I will say, one of my favorite things about
Yeah.
1917 is before they started shooting the film, RE, the camera manufacturer, came up with this new, it's a new type of digital camera. It had something special about
Yes.
it. I can't remember all the specifics. And
But you can
That's
go.
what they call
you
the
can go
X
into
factor.
Ari's channel and look at the
and
breakdown of
look
it.
at the breakdown of the interview, and Deakins was like, cool camera, I'd use it for this movie I'm going to work on if you make it smaller. And they did.
And they made him 3 prototypes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
The-
those he used to shoot 1917.
The most impressive thing for me in 1917 is close your ears because it might be a little bit spoilery.
I'm just gonna leave the room.
All right, well, Deon, just say goodbye because we're going to end it now.
Bye. My recommendation is Medical Police because it gives you an insight into what a TV show would be if I wrote it and had no adult oversight.
Good recommendation.
For me, it was the burning church.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
The
the
burning,
lighting rig that he set up for that,
the
or
burning
that
church.
he had them set up for
yeah,
that.
the burning church and the way the lighting interacts with the rest of the bombed out city and the German soldier materializing from, again,
No.
nothing.
And then walking towards each other
And
and,
the-
then recognize.
The
Again,
Yeah.
basically one light. Or the only light source.
The only light source.
Was the burning church, which was this huge, enormous rig.
And the rig they set for the flares.
Yeah, they had
So that
wire
they could keep
lights.
it up for as long as they wanted. They couldn't actually. Yeah.
Could shoot
Yeah.
flares. So that's Roger Deakins.
That
You
was our
should-
Roger Deakins
you should-
appreciation.
Yeah,
You
our
should-
recommendation,
Are
other
all
than
of those
Deon's silly
films?
one, is all of those films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every single one of the films that
that you have just seen
that
through
you just-
slideshow.
Or if you just Google Roger Deakins, go through his filmography and watch every film that you can.
That's a lot of movies, some of them not very good, so I would not recommend that specifically.
Yeah. So
I would.
I recommend just doing what we said.
In fact, tell you what, watch
Krabbies, everyone.
watch all the movies he was nominated for an Oscar for.
All right.
Smarter.
Smarter.
Drink Krabbies.